Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Right as Rain, our supposed to be weekly Seattle Rain FC show. Just me today, Charles Hamaker, here with you from Circling Seattle Sports. Bella and Bella Munson, Becca Weinberg, unable to join us this week for the show, and I wasn't going to let the show go by this week without saying something. Simply because there's a good amount of news. The big win over San Diego can't be ignored, and we got an exclusive interview that will be pretty quick here in the beginning. So I just wanted to take care of some housekeeping. Bella and Becca are both graduating or have graduated. I believe Bella graduated a few days ago from the University of Washington. So proud of her for taking some time off. Oh, my broom is in the background still over there. I'll take care of that when I have you guys watch the Claudia Dickey segment of this? Um, but yeah, so Bella graduated a few days ago, so proud of her for taking time off, coming back and wrapping up her time in college. And then Becca, down at the University of Oregon, who's been big for us, doing some rain stuff. But also I think of her largely as our ultimate frisbee rider for the Cascades and the Tempest. Tempest just unfortunately did not capture the Western Ultimate League title this season, but did get third place, taking down the uh, Alpenglow, who had been undefeated coming into championship weekend, which is pretty remarkable. And the Cascades, who just picked up their second win of the season, it's been a tough go for them, but Becca's been all over it. So unfortunately, neither of those two are with me today. So you're just gonna have to deal with me today. I'm sorry if that makes you want to click off. So yeah, we'll start here. We're gonna mention Claudia Dickey's name a few times here. I guess we'll lump the Claudia Dickey news together. Back on June 6th, because I'll have to check when the last time we got a show out for Right as Rain was. Excuse me. But on June 6th, Claudia Dickey was named as I look here for the last rain show we did. Oh, goodness gracious. Ah, yes. May 21st? Was it really May 21st? Yeah, just things have been tough trying to catch up. So anyway, um, on June 6th, Claudia Dickey, it was announced that she was named to the May NWSL Best 11 for her efforts there. It's her first career Best 11 honors following some big performances in the month of May. Really, it's been effectively the last few months have been Claudia Dickey's, and we're just living in her world. Um, you know, uh, yeah, first best 11 selection. She was big during the month of May for Seattle, facing 54 shots, which is the third most in the NWSL in that time period, only conceding 3 goals across the 4 matches. She recorded 2 clean sheets in that time, which was tied for the most in the league during that month. So really cool, to see that. Obviously, in the month of May, she signed that 3-year contract extension, earned her second U.S. Women's National Team call up, marking her first inclusion on a match roster following a January camp invitation. So it's been really cool to see Claudia's ascension. Obviously, to go back a little bit, there was some fanfare, maybe when she got that starting position, wondering what's going on. But, just seeing her improvement over the years has been pretty remarkable, seeing how she's been able to, stop the big time shots, be such a steady presence for Seattle. It's been pretty remarkable, and that continued in that win over San Diego that we'll talk about. But I want to get the Claudia Dickey stuff out first. Um, in the 77th minute, yeah, she had a big save to keep things level right before the Rain went and scored the eventual game winner, Delphine Cascarino, who had the only goal of the match for San Diego on a header, let a shot go around the top of the 18-yard box. He with a great diving save to the far post, and was able to push it off a frame. It's funny because in the stadium, folks, at Snapdragon Stadium, which Snapdragon Stadium gives me nightmares for Seattle having lost 2 championship games there across a few sports. And the field conditions always seem bad. Uh, they put the smoke on like around the goal for the because to them it looked like a goal from their vantage point, I'm sure, but the ball never went in. So you've got Claudia making this great save, and in the background there's this smoke going off which is kind of funny. So it's almost like it accentuates the save that she had made in that regard. So pretty remarkable. But yeah, there's a few other things that we'll surely be talking about. But I headed down to rain training yesterday, June 11th. It is June 12th right now. I headed down to rain training um, to get an exclusive. I was going to talk to Sally Menti, but she was doing some other media obligations. So I said, "Oh, let's pivot. I don't want to continue to pile on Sally." Um, and so I went with Claudia. Claudia's been great. She's been on our Players and Pepe's series that Bella's a big part of, and Rowan Shaberg is a big part of. Um, and she's just a very, very relatable person, as you'll see in this exclusive little interview that we did. I apologize if the quality isn't the best. I'm working on it. I have my 4K camera that you're seeing me on right now. It just couldn't handle the light very well. And so it was kind of tough. Was kind of in a pinch trying to get that handled. So I hope you enjoy this brief, kind of more laid back conversation with Claudia Dickey, exclusive interview with Claudia Dickey right here. I'll go and insert that right about now. Yeah, so I guess Claudia, how have the last few months been for you? I mean, because it's all good things, right? The clubs, you're obviously looking to do better fully through the rest of the season than last year, but it seems like you're on a better track than last year. You get called into the US camp, you get that extension, you get, best 11. Like, I don't know, how do you, because again, they're all good things, but how do you handle all this? Because I'm sure there's some more attention on you. Is it anything different, or do you have to kind of say, hey, this is all happening and it's cool that it's happening? Like, I don't know. How do you handle all of that mentally that there's just so much that your name has been involved in?
mean, I laugh with like the people I care about. Like it's obviously nice to get recognition. It's nice to have like be voted for things, go into camp. It's like everything that I ever wanted. But like I think I look at it more as like I wouldn't be where I am without the people in front of me, especially on the field, especially the staff. Like I think you can get so much recognition, but it kind of you don't get any of that without everybody else. So it obviously feels special that it's me getting it, but I'm like as I've said before, it's like people are making me look good, so it's easy for me. Like it's something that we go out and do every day, and I think the people in front of me don't get enough recognition. I think especially in the league. Um, but like yeah, like going into camp, like I'm having a better year because I think the people in front of me are having better years, and like everybody's doing better and is happier and in a better place. And I think the vibe this year is just so much different than it was last year. I think we got down on ourselves really easily. And I think obviously we've had games this year where it's been difficult, but we know how to come back from that. We know where we need to like look at to get better. But I think it's like it's obviously nice. I think I'm a very like neutral person. I think I've learned that that's what works for me. Like I don't really think that I get overexcited or I get over nervous about things. I'm just like I just enjoy going out there every day with my friends and like if that's going to camp and like representing my country, obviously it's a dream. But as long as I'm doing well here and having fun and like just getting better every day with everybody around me, I think that's what matters.
You talk about the folks in front of you, right? And I've heard from a few folks, whether it's Laura, some of your defenders in front of you, um, about how there's been extra meetings this year, maybe to look at film or just, because it seems like the defensive group really wants to ensure things that happened last year, whether it's mistakes, breakdowns, whatever,
Yeah.
don't happen again. Like, how have you seen? Because obviously you're involved in these
Yeah.
things, right? In these meetings, but have you seen, like, again, your defensive group, your back line, maybe take on a little bit more to just say, hey, this cannot happen again.
Yeah.
We know we're better. And then the other thing was Scott Parkinson. It sounds
Yeah.
like Scott's been more defensively involved. I've been told that the assistants kind of rotate, but Scott
Yeah.
maybe helps more defensively.
Yeah.
Like, how has he affected that as well? Maybe just paying more attention with you guys.
Yeah. I mean, we've had that we do like IDP stuff, like individual meetings and stuff, but I think we started this year, which we didn't do as much last year, was like group film.
Mm.
So it's like the defenders and goalkeepers. So obviously Scott and Lloyd lead it, the goalkeeper coach. So I think both of them have done really well. Like I'm always one to watch clips with the goalkeeper coach because it's very individual. Whereas like I think last year we watched a lot of stuff with the team, and it's really hard to it's not like you don't want to be hard on people and call people out in film, but
Mm.
when you're sitting in front of 26 people, you're never going to get everybody's like honest feedback. It's like if you make a mistake, you don't want to hear it pointed out in front of everyone. So I think part of that is like having the small group meetings. Part of it is like the ownership. Like I think the defenders and like the wing backs and everything coming to the meeting and like Scott's able to call us out for things because it's like a trusting group and everybody wants the best for each other. Um, I think like we're always going to blame ourselves first. Like we choose to play defense and goalkeeper because we are hard on ourselves, and I think it's more highlighted when we make some mistakes, so it's hard. But it's also like the midfielders and forwards have meetings all the time, and they're told that we need to finish chances. So I think when it's like 1-0 and we lose a game, it's really difficult because nobody scored, but like we make one mistake.
Yeah.
But I think it's been good. Like Scott's on us, Lloyd's on us. We watch and film as like whole team, and then we do the defensive meetings. But I think it's good. It's like we're never gonna get better if we're afraid to talk about the things that went wrong. And I think obviously we highlight the things that went well, but we key in on the things that we need to work on and continue to work on. I think that's why we're playing. Part of the reason we're playing so much better. I think in general, as I said, like the vibe and like the grit and like everybody wants everyone else to succeed, even the people that are on the bench. It's like you can be there's just a different mindset this year, and I think both those things have helped a lot in terms of like the way we're playing and what we can achieve this year.
How much of that maybe you think like just I guess paying more not paying more attention, but looking at things more specifically and this the mentality to not have anything repeat maybe goes back to the culture of the club, right? Because so often with so many people like Veronica, when I think of like the culture, I think of Veronica because after one match she was asked about something and she was very emotional about how much this club has helped her
Yeah,
grow as a pro. Like, you think that plays into it? Because obviously I think, and maybe you can give insight on this, but there are some folks who maybe are newer fans of the Rain who see Lou Barnes and see that she's one of the most like she's played all these games, and they're like, oh, maybe she's too old. And I'm like, you see Lou come out, and you can correct me,
yeah,
but it seems like sometimes she's orchestrating so much back
yeah,
there, and that's so valuable. Like just having, like, not to maybe combine Lou with culture, but it feels like they're
yeah,
synonymous, right? Just Lou and Jess. Do you think part of maybe the bounce back is just the culture to rely on, and you've got so many people because if this is a new group, then
yeah,
it's like you have to figure everything out,
yeah.
but you've got some of the older folk Jesses out there doing their own work.
Yes.
Um, do you think the culture of this club has helped a little bit in that?
I think it's an interesting one because it's like we had very similar people last year,
Mhm.
but I think for me, like I've talked about it with a few people, it's like having Lou and Jess, and then you bring in so many new people and young people, and um, just like I feel like our team is last year had a little bit more like 26, 27, 28 year olds, and now it's kind of split. Like I think we have a few older players, and those are the ones that like are experienced internationals and have the most minutes in the league and talk the most. And then you have the young ones who are trying to like look up and learn from them, but end up probably playing more minutes because they can physically do it. But I think it's like Lou knows, like we'll talk about all this, she knows that she's not the fastest player, but she knows exactly what she's good at and she knows how much it helps us. And I think she relies on that. Like her communication is crucial in every game. You can hear her talking, you can hear Phoebe talking, you can hear Jess and Lynn and all those people. But I think having the combination of the experience with the new like mindset, like
Mm,
creativity, and like you think of like Emery, like
yes.
she's just different than people you have in the league, but that's just what's happening now. It's like younger, more creative, like try new things, look cool, those types of things, and then you have the people that know exactly what they need to do and they aren't really out there trying to do like back heels and everything, but it's good. It's like
Yeah.
having the combination of that, and I think we struggled with it a little bit at times, and we have, and I'm sure we will continue to do that. But it's like we're aware of that, and we're aware of games like leading up to the Houston game. We just didn't. We just argued a lot as a team on the field, and it's just that mindset wasn't there. And I think having the meetings off the field are what are helping us, and like the culture, because it's gotten so much different this year. The players I think it's a culture thing, but I think everybody's just wants the same goal this year, and like
Yeah.
no one wants it to be like last year. And I think obviously Lou and Jess, the ones that have been here for so long, know that and know what it's like to want to win and to go through rough patches. But it 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 just feels different than the last like even 2 years that I've been here. Like
Yeah.
we made it to the final. It's like it's like exciting to be on this team because you never know what's gonna happen with us. Honestly, you don't like every time we go out, you're kind of like, okay, well, I don't know what to expect, but like we know that we want this for each other.
God, yeah, I didn't mean to hit you with some of the harder stuff. I'll change that. Um, have you like because yeah, you mentioned it's been a few years now. Have you been able to kind of explore the Pacific Northwest a bit? I know you've got the dog,
Yeah,
but this is obviously different than where you grew up.
yeah,
So like, have you been able to explore a little bit? I mean, this is the perfect
I
time for
know.
it. How often have people told you that Seattle in the summer is when you want to be here?
I say that to everyone. Everybody
Okay, so you've
complains. Yeah, my parents, every time they come, they complain, and then I'm like, just come in the summer, watch. Um, no, I honestly don't go out a ton.
okay,
I've been on a few hikes. I'm a very like I like to do stuff during the day, but it's to go to the dog park and
got it.
stuff like
Not
that.
too
You know,
adventurous. Got it.
I'm not. I like to go and do things, but I'm not a big those big groups of people. I struggle.
Hmm.
So I'm like, I'll go on like a rainy day to the waterfront, like the
Oh,
pier and everything, because I'm like, I don't want to be around crowds of people. But
yeah, that's fair.
being out and I just like being outside. I'm like, I want to go to the lake or like take my dog to the beach or something.
So
But I need to definitely get out
like
more.
concerts and stuff, probably not.
We actually went to the uh SZA in Kendrick
Oh,
Lamar.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We were I think I'm going to the Fray at some point. We really want to go to Morgan Wallen.
Okay. Okay.
It's really it's hard with our schedule because like they play at Lumen and we're away usually, so that's how it always works.
So, but it's like you're not typically like you're not in the pit for shit like,
No.
oh, well, I can say that.
Yeah,
It's
you
my
can
own thing.
say yeah.
So yeah, you
No.
don't. Okay, that makes sense though. I'm
I
the
like
same
to
way.
sit away from everyone and
Yep.
enjoy the music. We actually went after the Louisville game. Like we flew and basically wore tracksuits directly to the concert.
Wow.
I
Okay.
was just sitting and I was like, it was so fun. And then I like hit a wall and I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here.
Yep.
That's me.
Okay. Claudia Dickey's very relatable, is what
Yeah.
I'm finding out. And I guess my last one I'll wrap you up with is you're in a pretty heavy women's sports city,
Yeah.
right? With the Reign, I've seen you guys there. Obviously, old friend Laurel Ivory.
Yeah.
Whenever she'd wear her Celtic stuff, I'm like, ah, the Boston kills me, but I can understand it. You've got women's hockey coming here. Have you ever like I asked this because Peter Cech in his famous helmet,
Yeah.
who he actually did play a little bit of hockey goalie.
Okay.
Would you ever think about putting hockey pad? No, immediately no.
It's
I
like
think.
the sport. We didn't really watch that growing up
Mhm.
as a family. It's literally the one sport I never really watched, but obviously I have to now that there's a women's team coming. But
Yeah, I did bother Laura about it. I was like, "Are you gonna come out to a match?" Because I had somewhat leaked that that team was coming
yeah,
here,
nice.
and so the day of, I was like, we had a pre-match presser with her, and I was like, "Hey, what do you think?" And so I followed up with
Yeah.
her on that. But yeah, well, because I just think it's so fun because like hockey goalies get to custom. Can you imagine being able to customize your gear a little bit more and have
I
designs
would
on it?
put it
Maybe
in,
put your
I
dog
don't
on
have like
there.
on.
Oh, for sure.
I'd get too hot. It's too hot.
Oh yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Well, yeah, I tried to. Sorry again, I
No,
didn't want to much of that be
and
hard.
it's funny. It's literally everybody's like, "Oh, hockey." I'm like, "Yeah, you can just make me go to a game and I'll have fun." But
Did
I just didn't really like.
no, I didn't
North
grow up
Carolina's
with
not
it.
good at any sports teams, so
Oh.
I mean, I guess the Hurricanes are okay, but
Yeah, but they.
they're in
Oh,
Raleigh, so
oh, I see.
like we
Yeah.
watched the Panthers growing up and like
Oh,
baseball and basketball, but
yeah.
the Hornets are also not very good. So
Honestly, Claudia Dickey is great. So that's Claudia Dickey. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, I hope the quality was all right. I had this 4K camera on, had the see the microphone in the video, had the microphone ready. Um, Neither decided to cooperate that day, so not great. But I hope it sounded all right. I hope you enjoyed the conversation that we had because you know Claudia might not be the most out like bubbly a personality per se, but she seems very relatable every time I've talked to her, and she's been a fan of the show. I mean, she thanked us after the push for the U.S. Women's National Team call up. Got that. We've been in contact before, so Claudia is great. So we will continue on with the show to talk about the last match. Last match, big win against San Diego Wave. Laura Harvey's 250th career match in a fun sort of. You want to look at it this way in terms of storytelling to be in your 250th career match and have some of the future, club players of the club's future, represent the two goals in this match. I think that's pretty fun storytelling to me. To play a San Diego Wave team that, second in the league table, was undefeated in six of their past matches coming into this contest against Seattle. So, and also considering that the Reign were, uh, they're playing the first of three consecutive road matches in the month of June, and Several, sorry, other international players were, coming off international duty and flying in quite literally the day before the match. So frustrating there. Um, but looking at this one, I mean, San Diego really was putting the pressure on Seattle early on. And it makes sense. I mean, Delphine Cascarino was showing some great skill early and often. The wave pressure was very, very heavy and consistent. Um, but it's not as though Seattle didn't have chances and didn't push up a bit. Um, you know, forcing some corners early on. Um, you know, it wasn't too much, but again, it's not like the Reign were just completely pushed into a corner, sorry, um, and forced to deal with the wave attack. So, it was nice to see that San Diego was uh, showing that pressure, but Seattle was able to handle it, is what was nice to see. Lou Barnes did take a yellow card in the 14th minute, which was a little concerning, just given the pressure that the Wave had been putting on, and one of your more valuable defenders, and considering her communication, and still her ability to have that's not great, but I mean, Seattle was able to hold in. They were only conceded 3 shots against in the first half. Um, and I went into that first half and I tweeted this and I tweeted, put it on Threads, put it on Blue Sky. We put all of our posts like that on all three of those when we're like live posting. I felt pretty decently going into the second half just because this was there was the fun stat. There were 6 teenagers starting combined across the two clubs when the match began, largely because it was coming off of international duty. So, with the Reign having three teenagers starting and mostly a younger starting group on the field, I felt good because, excuse me, I was like, hey, if you're going to be able to bring on some players like Jess Fishlock, potentially Ju So she did not come on. There were some big switches made. I felt good going into that second half, considering how your younger lineup was able to hold up against San Diego, uh, while also noting that, felt good about that and noting, hey, you're going to be able to bring on more experienced defenders with, fresher legs. And that was great. I mean, to be able to bring on Lynn Biondolo in the 61st minute is pretty remarkable. You bring on Sam Meza, who's younger, yes, but still the year that she's had is great. Replace Ainsley McCammon, bring on Maddie Darlene in the 73rd minute, which is still younger, but to bring on Maddie Darlene that late into the match is pretty valuable with the speed she's got. Bring on Jess Fishlock in the 73rd minute. So pretty incredible, what the players that Seattle had on the bench that they were able to bring on. So that was cool to see. Um, you know, it was funny in the 49th minute, the combination play from Sally Menti and Emery Adamas, coming up with sort of half chance on goal. Didn't do anything, but it's funny because it, foreshadowed what was to come from those two later on in the match. Um, in the 67th minute, Lou Barnes finds Sally Menti, who really unloads a nice shot outside of the 18-yard box. Goes up in the air to the side netting on the far post. Jalen Sheridan really had no chance on it, and Seattle's on the board. The Roosevelt High School alum, the Seattle native, puts Seattle on the board. And really, what is becoming a great story is Menti has trained with Seattle for the last several years, really. I believe she spent time with Crossfire, you know, um, has been hanging around. They signed her to um, this short-term deal that ends at the end of this month, and she's seemingly earning her place in the club. So that was really remarkable to see. It was tough though because 6 minutes later, San Diego was able to respond and get an equalizer, and I was a little bit worried at that point in time to say, "Oh boy, oh boy," because just knowing how dangerous the Wave have been throughout the course of the year, right? It came off a set piece, came off a corner, which is something that San Diego's had a lot of success with set pieces. Um, this season. So not entirely surprising, just I'm sure frustrating for the Reign defense because they've taken such an emphasis on defending better this year compared to last season, working on set pieces. So um Cascarino, Delphine, right? Yep. Sorry, I want to make sure I get that right. Scores with a header off of a Maria Sanchez cross into the box, and we're all tied up. Uh, 4 minutes later, it looked like San Diego would have the winner. On the 77th minute, Cascarino again knocking on for her second. Sent another flying shot high towards goal. Dickey makes that save that I mentioned earlier. Um, and so it keeps it level. So, that's very key, to be able to because I mean, if the Rain do get the score that I'm about to mention in the 87th minute, then it's just splitting points, and not quite. It's just splitting points and not getting the full three road points. So in the 87th minute, uh, as I mentioned, Emery Damas able to get on the board. Defender Emily Mason helped clear the ball up. Lynn Biondolo, who hasn't scored a ton of goals this year, but has really been pretty integral in build-up play, and had some great passing throughout the course of the year, which I know Bella has talked about in our previous episodes of Right as Rain. So shout out to Bella, of course. Chris Fishlock made a great one-touch ball to space to let Emery Damas get through. Emery kind of, puts on. I think I said it in our like daily show, or around the sound show for that episode, when recapping this match. But she kind of put on like a basketball crossover, and fires off a perfect shot that beats Kaylin Sheridan. Seattle's able to defend, and they get the 3 points on the road. It's fun to look at a few of the key milestones in this one, our keynotes. Sally Menti, this was her first start for the Reign, and I believe just her second appearance with the club. I could be wrong. Emery Damas, this was her second goal of the season. If we count the goal in the North Carolina match, which last year, which was in the Megan Rapinoe jersey retirement night. It was ruled as an own goal, which I understand. But if you count them, even if you don't count it, every goal that Emery Adames has scored with the Reign has come in the 70th minute or later. So you want to talk about clutch gene? That's pretty remarkable. So also with her three saves in the match, Claudia Dickey. We're talking about Claudia Dickey again. Moved up to third in club history in saves with 111, passing Fallon Tullis Joyce at 110. So um, fortunately, now I have to get into something more serious as we talk into this little piece of not little, this piece of news, and get into what I saw at training yesterday. Um, we found out the Rain gave this story to Ride of the Valkyries, Susie Rant, Susie's great, you know, uh, give this story to them, um, that Jordan Heidema was at Julio Rodriguez's house, um, during the time when his Julio's house was burglarized. If you're unaware, there's been a string of high-profile burglaries. Uh, Luis Castillo with the Mariners, Julio Rodriguez with the Mariners, Edgar Martinez with the Mariners all had their houses burglarized. I believe some of the men were caught. I don't know if that's a closed case. I believe it's still open. Macklemore had his nope, his house burglarized. So it was terrifying. I know in Macklemore's case, I believe he had some people at home. And in Julio's case, Jordan Heidema was at home. She was at the house. Um, she was preparing for the match the next day, I believe, against the Kansas City Current. Top ranked Kansas City. You're trying to prepare. You're doing all of your hydration and game tactics and just getting rest for the match the next day. Um, and instead, Jordan had to deal with this burglary. She mentioned we had to hear from, well, not had to, we heard from her at training yesterday. She took time to, explain her side of everything, which, very grateful because realizing this is tough for anybody, for Jordan, to still be very young, and deal with what she's dealt with, starting her pro career so young and dealing with the struggles of being a pro athlete, um, and all the mental side of things that comes with that. It's pretty remarkable. So for her to continue on is awesome. You know, she's a rock star. Um, and just to deal with this is really tough. So, you know, hands uh shout out to her, of course, for, you know, feeling comfortable talking about this, and holding her own. You know, that was happening, you know, she was at Julio's house. You know, she was preparing, as I said, for the match. These burglars used Wi-Fi jammers. Um, hmm, sorry, working on another interview to do. These Wi-Fi jammers to disable the locks at the house, so the security alarm didn't go off. But Gordon could tell that, you know, people running in the house. She shared that, you know, she didn't really have clothes on, so she had to rush to put clothes on, um, because she thought maybe there were some workers that were coming to the house. Obviously, you know, I don't want to be in the nude or whatever. I don't know. She mentioned needing to put clothes on. That's why I don't want to assume. Um, and she shared that, you know, it was just a matter of seconds. She thought she might have a minute, but she really had a matter of seconds to go into the bathroom. There's a she mentioned there's a separate door for the toilet, so she was in that one with the toilet, and she locked that door. And she was just quiet. She had a 10-second 911 call. Um, and was able to sort of alert people. She did lose service because of the Wi-Fi jammer. So once she got one bar, she mentioned she was just, you know, trying to text anybody to go ahead and try and call 911 for her. Um, you know, it was what's really it just obviously terrifying. Any burglary is terrifying. But you know, reading, you know, knowing the quotes, saying that, you know, like there were the men that were, you know, burglarizing this house were quite literally on the other side of that door, going through the bathroom drawers, looking for valuables. Um, you know, and how if she needed to, she would, you know, break her back trying to keep that door because she had her back against the door, of course, right, in the bathroom, and she had her feet up against the toilet. Like she was willing to have her back broken again, like holding the door in place. And I say again because she broke it last season, during the year, unfortunately. She said she was willing to do that again just to ensure that, um, you know, obviously they didn't get to her. So um, it's just, yeah, I mean, it's pretty remarkable how terrible this is. Um, you know, Karma Clark is with the Reign as their security director. Uh, Shared a few conversations with Karma over the last few weeks. Just going to training, truthfully, because Karma's at training. Um, you know, so and Karma, sorry, Karma uh, said that Jordan did everything right in this situation. Obviously, she got away with uh, mm, with Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just very tough to look at. You know, she called Laura Harvey the night of. Uh, you know, she said, I didn't think I could be the player the team needed me to be. I mean, just for her to think, you know, so selflessly about the team in that regard. And Laura shared with us after training as well that, um, you know, Jordan had told her she didn't want she didn't want to distract the team going into that match. And the team didn't, they didn't tell the team until after that match against Kansas City. So, um, you have to give so much props to Jordan Heidema for handling this the way that she did. Um, you know, and it's just it is so remarkable, dealing with this and dealing with everything else Jordan's dealt with, as a uh, professional athlete. You know, obviously she's got her relationship with Julio documented. When we spoke with her yesterday, it had been made clear that she didn't want to speak on the relationship, and that's fine. I have to respect that. And, I personally don't care because, unfortunately, Mariner fans have been really weird about that relationship. So that's disappointing. It's very disappointing to see. Um, so yeah, it's a very tough situation. I really didn't like, of course the news channels come out. It's like, oh, the Rain are going to be on TV tonight, but it's because of how, they're here to essentially trauma porn this. So I hated that. I really didn't like that. But again, Jordan took the time to tell her story and get that out there. And again, just so much respect to Jordan Idema for all of this. You have to be really mentally strong to be a professional athlete, and you know, Jordan's obviously so strong mentally for that aspect, but also everything that she's dealt with, including this now. So, um, God. So I'm sorry. Yes, we'll continue into training yesterday. Full group yesterday, in terms of availability and such. Kessie Miller, who I believe is on the 45-day injured list, it was 45 to 60. It's an extended absence of time that she's going to be out. Excuse me. She came out early ahead of everyone else to get some work in. Uh, just some standard goalkeeper work, honestly, which is cool to see. I don't remember what it was just specifically that she had gotten hurt with, but I know that I saw, um, I believe one of the trainings where it was, clear that she was hurt. And she spent a lot of time trying to work her two legs out and um, see if maybe it was something they could work through, and it wasn't. And I know coming off the pitch yesterday, she was saying, "Hey, everything felt good, outside of a few, like one, like stuff that will come with her recovery." So that was good to hear from. This Fishlock did not come out till the end of training and got some work in. Laura Harvey shared that that was just sort of load management, and obviously, again with the Euros coming up, um, that that makes sense. You want to be able to have Just Fish like ready for what will be the biggest tournament of her life, right? So that's really important and cool to see. Oops, wrong one. I gotta pull up the right professor here to go through the transcripts that I've got. Um, yeah, managing Jess. She had a bit of a dead leg at the end of the San Diego game. I guess she had just been um like kneed in the leg at the end of that match. It's a quad, not the hamstring problem that she had had previously. So that's big. Um, yeah, nothing else. They're just managing her and being very cautious to make sure that she can get ready for the Euros. Didn't mention anything else there. Ryan Brown, I asked about Ryan Brown because we've seen her continue to work separately, but also be involved in some of the team training. Um, Thinking that maybe she, after the break, that she might be available. You know, didn't put a clear timeline on it, but Laura did mention after the CBA break, which is August. Um, Pretty much in full training. Obviously, ACL injuries are crazy in terms of their rehab. But Laura mentioned that Ryan Brown is checking off all of the little boxes. And she mentioned she's doing that brilliantly. So now it's up to sort of how she can handle tackles, getting hit in ways that she hasn't prepared for, just handling things recovery wise that the body hasn't taken after a year following that injury. So that's cool to see. Um, and then with Sophia, fans have been kind of looking for some clarity on Sophia Huerta. And I asked, I was like, "Hey, do you have any more of an idea of what her ramp up to return might look like?" And Laura said that Sophia will be back after the CBA break, which is also August. I've been told that by a few folks that she's getting married, I think, within the next 2 months. So that they probably want to give Sophia a little bit of a break following her loan, have a real season, so to say. So, I mean, it's not surprising, and given the way that, Seattle's playing, it's not like they need her to rush back. So that's really cool to see. Um, that's really cool to see. Um, and happy. Of course, to have her back, she's around, but again, I think she wasn't at training, but again, I think it's just giving her a little bit of a break is what's going on um, right now. So yeah, I guess we will wrap it up here. Yes, and look ahead to that next match. As I mentioned, the Reign have 3 matches on the road in the month of June here. This next one comes up on Saturday, June 14th, so in a few days. Um, 2 p.m. start at Chicago. The Stars, they're no longer the Red Stars, if you'll remember that whole thing. The Chicago Stars, June 14th, 2 p.m. Pacific time. That will be on Ion. We'll hear probably tomorrow during the pre-match presser if anyone's going to be out. But I imagine, again, they're going to continue to be very cautious with just Fishlock. I imagine throughout the course of the year, whether it's with Euros and then wanting to have her ready for the potential of a playoff run, right? So we'll see. Anna Maria Srnagorcevic was training on the side during training. I should have mentioned that. So interesting to see that as well. Wondering if it just might be some load management, seeing her come back from international duty as well. So yeah, it'll be really cool to kind of get back into the swing of things. Obviously did with that San Diego match, but hopefully planning to have special guest Sally Menti on next week with us, and go from there. So until we see you next time, take care of yourselves, be well, and do whatever you can to make today a great day.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, where are you going to watch all the away games for Seattle Reign FC this year?
Away games. Well, since Rough and Tumble is the home of Circling Seattle Sports, I was thinking of coming here if that's okay with you.
I think that makes a lot of sense. See y'all here.